I am gonna start off by dropping some supernatural motivation. Does that sound amazing? Like, let's get started with some supernatural motivation. And actually, this came across my desk this morning when I was doing my reflections and my prayers. I listened to a prayer and read a scripture out of the Bible every single morning. And the scripture this morning, in case you like to look that up, is Galatians 6, 6 through 7. And here's what I want to tell about that and share. You are in the right place today. And I believe and know that if you keep showing up and planting good seeds, good things will come out. And the Bible tells us that even. We plant good seeds, a harvest and fruit will come. And so if nothing else, I want you to feel the fact and know, keep showing up, keep standing up. You are here to get outside your comfort zone, to learn some new things. And that's good sauce. That's good sauce. And so keep showing up, keep planting those seeds, and amazing things will happen. And today is going to be a great, great step in that right direction. So let's talk about that a little bit more. Let's get ready for a breakthrough. Today's not just about making money, and the people that are drawn to me just aren't about making money. Do we want to make money? Absolutely. Do we believe it's a way to be of service? For sure. But there's more to it. You are absolutely called for impact. And what I want you to know is that you are here, if you're here, to reignite that purpose. You're in the right place. And I believe your purpose is within you. We don't go looking outside of ourselves for that. We find our purpose within us, and we're going to work on connecting with that today. We're going to reactivate passion. Oh, we talk so much in my coaching business about things that happen to us, right? People say stuff over us that is negative. Maybe we lose a job, which, by the way, was meant to be if it happens. Or we have a bad business partner, that's been me, or made some bad decisions even. And we lose our passion, we lose our identity, we feel beat down, and we're going to reignite that and get over that and get beyond that. If you're here, I know you refuse to live small. You are called for impact. And I want to encourage you to go all in for this next 30 minutes or so that we have together, to go all in and think big. You're significant. You are set apart, and you are called for impact. So let's go. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. That paper that you have out, I want you to just quickly write down whatever comes to your mind. We're not going to overthink anything today. I want you to write down, where do you need to be in 3 years? Let's get grounded in that. Where do you need to be in 3 years? And some people come to me and they're like, man, I need to have revenue like now, or this isn't going to work out. Or they come in and they're like, I need to be contributing in a different way. And that happens a lot. Sometimes some of us, particularly as us moms, but sometimes the dads too. And I see lots of men on here today too, men and women. But we get to that later in life, like about 50, and it's like, whew. Kids are out of the house. We lived that first half of our life. Now it's time to show up and do something different. Maybe something even for you. We make sacrifices to raise our families, to keep a roof over their head, to make sure they are raised well and go everywhere they need to go. And then they leave us, grow up and go off to jobs in college, which is exactly what we want to have happen. And all of a sudden, it's like, man, it's time to do something different. And that might be you. When I ask you, if you're coming on now, the question is, where do you need to be in 3 years? A lot of people say, Heather, I need to be somewhere different. Like, I need to be, it's been good, no regrets. But it's time for me to step into what I'm called to do something different. So where do you need to be in 3 years? Second thing is, where do you need to be in a month? Where's that need to be? What needs to be different? If you do not have unlimited leads, if you do not have a strong funnel full of people to help and serve, something needs to be different. And does that need to be different in a month? Or are people falling out of your funnel? Where is that breakthrough or that breakdown? And where do you need to be in a month? What needs to change? So we're going to get anchored in that. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my story, because I think it's important. You want to know where somebody's coming from and what their experience is if they're giving you advice. That's important. Like, a lot of people come online and they tell stuff and they aren't based in anything. So I want you to know my journey a little bit. This will just be a few minutes. But I started right after college climbing that corporate ladder. So I got my master's degree. The company I worked for paid for quite a bit of it. And the second I graduated with my master's degree, they said, great. Do you want to go to Kansas City to be an executive director, or do you want to go to Winfield, Kansas? It was an easy decision for me. Kansas City seemed really big for this small town girl from South Dakota. I went to Winfield, Kansas. It was absolutely the right path for me. It was a beautiful, beautiful town with beautiful people to live in. I won't go too deep, but the business was failing. It was absolutely in miserable shape. They were really planning on closing it down, and if I went to pick Winfield, they probably would have. So it was absolutely meant for me to be there. We turned that place around so fast, me and the management team, and served people and showed up, and the state, man, just came and gave us a bunch of blessings. And I mean, were so good to me and helped me to grow it. And it was a for-profit company, public for part of the time of my 17 years that I was with them, and private for part of it, in and off and on the market. So I spent 8 years there. Kept climbing the corporate ladder, had my baby. That's why it took me 8 years to get out of there. It was my choice. Finally, there one day, they're like, Heather, yeah, like, you're not going to be at one agency anymore. Pick what's next. And so I went in to be a regional, did that. Towards the end of that, the last couple years, I did full bore acquisitions. And so I would go into agencies throughout a 5-state area, including Texas, and be boots on the ground. I would show up as a consultant and do some analysis, look at everything from staffing patterns to vehicles to whatever. And then the company would decide whether they were going to buy it or not. I would run it until it was in good graces and with the state running well, had a good executive director, and I would go on to the next one. Working a lot. Learned an amazing amount, loved it. The company had a solid mission until they didn't have a solid mission anymore. And I learned that you are at the mercy of other people when you work in corporate. So when it was time for me to leave there so that my husband could go home and run the family farm, I knew I didn't want that anymore. Like, I wanted some say in what I was doing and the mission of what I was going to do next. And so I ended up becoming a financial advisor. And a lot of people in my world here are financial advisors. And so you will know what this means. I was captive. So I thought I was going to be very independent. Well, it was a little better than corporate. I was captive. And so I had to sell their products the way they wanted them sold using their marketing. And so, but I did that for almost 10 years. So 9 years, and learned a ton. I was exactly what I probably needed to do, I guess. What I probably learned from that is don't stay too long and somewhere you're not supposed to be, right? Like, it wasn't meant for me to be. But it came very clear again, boy, it was time for me to move on. I had written a book. I was going in other directions than what they thought I should be going. And I gave notice and started my own financial firm. And so I did that 2 years ago, started my own financial firm. While I almost forgot the most important part. While I was in that business as a financial advisor, anybody in business knows you are going to have very, very good years and you are going to have very bad years. And sometimes those bad years come out of nowhere. And you're like, what in the world? Like, everything's fantastic and boom. So I was right out of the gate as a financial advisor. I loved it. I did really well. I replaced my corporate salary. No complaints, man. Like, let's go. And then I started working with firm family. I was kind of learning how to do that and special. So I was at an important point too, darn it. Okay, everybody's back on. I was a couple years into being a financial advisor, and it was 2020, right before COVID hit. And I had a really bad year. And I thought, dang, I need to do something different. And I knew I either needed to figure out how to make revenue or I needed to get out of the job. My husband called it a hobby. Like, it wasn't that I wasn't working. I was just not making any money. And I thought, what am I going to do? And I listened to a coach. I went to a challenge, a 5-day challenge, a virtual challenge, and I listened to her and I did some of the stuff she told me to do, and it worked. And I thought, I'm going to sign up for her coaching services. And I knew when I wrote that big check, that it had to work. Like, this was either going to work or I was done. Like, I was not going to be a financial advisor anymore. There was no way I could explain this big check to my husband and not go get a real job, which is what I really did not want to do. And so I listened to what she told me, and most of you know my story. I made $70,000 in 6 weeks. I mean, that was more than I would make. That's probably more than I made in 9 months the year before. Like $70,000 in 6 weeks. And I needed somebody that would show up and believe in me. And I needed somebody that had a system that I could use that didn't feel salesy, that was authentic to what I was doing. And what I learned about coaching, and I'll show you here, and if you can see it, great. If you can't, don't worry about it. We're just going to draw this quick here. There we go. I like to draw a figure 8. This is what we do in coaching, right? So up here, it's belief, B. We need to borrow the belief. I knew she had went before me, and what she did was helping other people. So I thought, if I show up and do what they do, I will be successful. So I borrowed the belief. Get it? Find somebody that's doing what you want to do, that's being successful, and do it. So I took action. That's the do it. So I took action. I thought, I'm not going to question it. She says, use this language, call this person. Use that language, call this person. It was all internet. It was all virtual. So use this language, email, Facebook message, whatever it is, do this. So I did that. And from that, I had an experience. So we do a belief. We borrow a belief, somebody else's belief. We take action, and then we have an experience. And my experience was fantastic, right? I'm like, whoa, this is good, man. Turned things around quickly. That's what coaching does. You borrow the belief of a coach who's gone before you and knows what they're doing. You take action, not on your own muckety muck in your head. You take action on what they tell you to do, and you have an experience, which is success. Because it's been done before. It's a proven method. And so after I did this, she's like, why don't you come coach my entry-level program? And I thought, why don't I come coach your entry-level program? I didn't get paid very much for it. But I jumped in, and what I did get paid some, but what I gained from it was experience on how to coach people. So I did not have to do the marketing or driving people to me, and I just did the coaching. And there would be, I don't know, 30, 40 people every week, just coaching them in group coaching on the entry-level stuff. Exactly what I had done, right? Borrow the belief, take the action, do the experience. The method I used to be successful, I taught them. So I had like over 4 years of experience showing up every week doing that over and over again. Does that sound like a win? Yes, it was an absolute win. Not a monetary win, but an experience win for me. And while I was doing that, I was still being a financial advisor. So like I had said, I hit that point, and I left where I was captive as a financial advisor, started my own firm. And that's what brings us here today. I'll tell you a little bit more about how I quit coaching when I went independent, but I'll tell you how I got back into it. But it's enough about me. We're jumping back into the other good stuff. So today we're going to talk about the system. I'm going to give you the system it takes to roll out your own coaching consulting business. Sound good? Okay. Four pillars. We're going to talk a lot about 4 pillars. I'm going to share my 4 pillars with you today. We're going to work through these pillars, and you're going to reflect how it works for you. So if you can see this, fantastic. If you can't, don't worry. You'll figure it out. Okay. The first one is live your big dream. That's your vision. That's your purpose. That's what's in you that gets you up every day. That's the one thing, man, if anything surprises me, it doesn't anymore because it's happened so much. But in the beginning, I was like, people are like, that's the secret sauce, Heather. Like, that's what you do that moves mountains. You get people connected with their purpose. And I'm like, fantastic, right? Call for impact. That's what it is. And I would have never known if they wouldn't have told me. Live your big dream. Serve with purpose. So who is that client you're going to help? Who's that client you're going to help? Serve with purpose. The next one is share with confidence. That's the offer. That's when the wheels fall off the bus for a lot of people. Share with confidence. When do we share? What do we share? But sharing with confidence. Over delivering. And then market like a pro. How do we connect with people? How do we get out there? How do we market like a pro? Some of you in my world realize and know we were celebrating heavy in my office last week. We had 86 ideal leads, ideal clients. Some of you are right here from one post. We did one post and we got 86 people showing up saying, hey, like this is my jam. Tell me more. 86. It's crazy off of one post. And so when we market like a pro, we're going to talk about that. And and just so you know, like organic. It's organic. We're not spending money on it. Okay. Organic means free. All right. So that is the action steps that we are going to go through. So if you're following along in the handout, and again, if you have it, great. If not, don't worry. We're jumping around anyways. The next thing we're going to talk about is that purpose, that vision. So I don't know, right after summer of last year. And I was in a group that I was hanging out with, and I have a coach in the group. And I said, man, I'm missing something. Like my financial firm's fine, like great, right? But I'm missing something. Like I feel like I'm not doing what I've meant to do. I feel like I'm not serving. And she said, well, if you could do something all day long and love it, what would it be? And I had just helped a client write a business plan to launch a non-alcoholic adult hangout. So like a non-alcoholic bar in Missouri. And I had written the plan with her. She was driven. She had a vision. These cool, eccentric things about it that were unique to her that were going to make it a really cool place. And I'm like, I loved that experience. I loved being able to take what she wanted to do and turn it into like reality, like on paper, a plan that's fundable. And so I said, I want to write business plans. And so the question was, what could you do all day and love it? I said, I'll write business plans. And my coach is like, great, go do that. Go do that. And so I'm like, all right. And so I wrote a lead post, and we're going to learn more about lead posts, but that was one lead post that led to all of this coaching stuff, and I got it started. And I found out very quickly, about 2 weeks into my beta group, and again, beta group is market testing. We learn, they learn. I was 2 weeks into my beta group in October, and I thought, you guys don't want to learn how to write a business plan, do you? And they're like, no, we just want to launch a business. And I'm like, yeah. So we threw the business curriculum out the door. Good thing I hadn't really written much of it, because we want to write as we go. But so I was learning from them, and we threw the business plan out. We just really worked on really building the businesses, which is what the 4 pillars absolutely came from. So take a minute there and think about, what would you do all day and love it? What's that in you were born to do that you can go out and do, and time just flies? You just love every minute of it. You get to the end of it and you're like, man, do we have to be done? What is that? That is most likely your purpose. So we spend time in my coaching group working through that, and hopefully something came to mind. If not, we'll get there. And sometimes people have things and they're like, well, I have all of this, but I don't know what to do with it. Like, I have this, but I don't know how to turn this into service and helping people and revenue, because we got to keep the lights on. So the question that comes up often is, how do I know this will work, Heather? How will I know this will work? And so we get your vision down to one thing, and we use thumbs up and thumbs down in my program. So I'll be like, that's a thumbs up or that's a thumbs down idea. It's not random. It's not just my gut, which is a little bit that, but not completely. It's research. This is going to be different than what you're going to hear from other programs. I believe in doing research. I've got a spreadsheet that we put together. I tell my clients, you go spend at least 4 hours, not at all at one time, out on the beautiful World Wide Web and find out, what are other people doing? What are they charging for it? What does their marketing and content look like? What does their copy on social media look like to bring clients in? So what are they doing? What are they charging for it? And what does their copy look like? A great thing to do, just a little, giving you a little insight here. If you go and you can look online, who's paying for Facebook ads? There's like websites that'll show you this. If you can't find it, let me know, DM me. I'll drop you the link in your DM. they'll tell you what are the biggest Facebook ads in any given area, like who's spending the most money. If you go in there and you're like, man, I want to be, we're going to pick on financial advisors because it's an easy one. I want to be a financial advisor that helps people with retirement, because everybody does. So you decide you want to do that. If you go out there and you look at Facebook ads for financial advisors for retirement, there will be ads and people will be spending money on it. You know why? Because it works. Like, people need help with retirement. So we want to go out and look and see, you know, what ads are being spent. That's a big deal, because if people are spending ads, they're making money. We want to pick something that we know is going to be profitable. We're not going to reinvent something. We're not going to think we're going to go out and do this weird one-off that nobody's ever done and make money at it. Probably isn't going to work. We're way better off picking something that other people have made money on it and show up with our competitive advantage, show up with who we are, and be more likely to know that it's going to work. Make sense? Okay. So research. We're going to research our purpose, and we're going to spend time. We're going to gather data and links, and we're going to know if it works or not. So purpose, dream. The next thing we're going to talk about is ideal client. Get radically empathetic about the person that you serve. What are their pain points? What are their needs? And we'll talk about it a little more in the offer, but offers fail, programs fail because we think it's about us, right? Or we think our product, we fall in love with our product and not our client. So, like, you see this with product a lot more than service, and you see it with service. You absolutely see it with service. But you want to get radically empathetic about their pain points and what they need. That's really key. And you want to niche down. So you don't want something like vanilla. And I have a coach I work with now, and she's like, yeah, vanilla ice cream is great. But if you can have vanilla ice cream with chocolate and peppermint on top of it, and maybe another scoop of chocolate ice cream with it, and it's got caramel and whipped cream on and crumbles and like all this stuff, and then it's better, right? It's more specific. You want to get super, super, super specific. See how specific that was? Way, way more specific. And so I like to say, if I have appendicitis and I need to have my appendix removed, I would like to go to a surgeon. I do not want to go to my general practitioner to go to surgery and have my appendix removed. I want an absolute specialist. You need to be a specialist at what you do. You want to be a specialist so that you can serve at a higher level, so that people know what you do and how you help. It's hard for me to write copy for people, really good marketing copy, if I don't know exactly who they serve. I need to know exactly who they serve so I can write absolute perfect copy to pull them into you. Okay? So ideal client. There's 4 things you want your ideal client to have. Are you ready? You want to be able to find them on social media, and they want to be found. So, you know, and I still go to some networking events out of my office. I do, but boy, that's a lot of work, isn't it? For one referral. If you can get on social media and get 86 from one post, doesn't that sound better? So I encourage people, and anybody that comes into my coaching business, it's a prerequisite. You need to know you will be marketing on social media. That's how we're going to find your clients. Social media. The other half of that is they need to want to be found. You're way ahead of the curve if you pick people that know they have a pain point that they want to fix. If we have to find them and then try to show them that they're in pain and that they should want to fix it, that's really hard. It's really, really hard. And so an example would be if you are going to market, maybe you're a weight loss coach. Okay. You are going to want to market to people that know they want to lose weight. You do not want to go out there and market to people that really are just fine with their weight and don't want to lose weight. You're way better off marketing to people that want to lose weight, get healthy, whatever it is. So pick somebody that is on social media that's not hiding, right? Like they know they're looking for you. They want help. You need to be able to help them. kind of a no-brainer, but it's true. You have to have a solution for them. They have to be able to pay you. All right, we're reconnected. They have to be able to pay you. So, budget coaching is a prime example. People need help with their budgets, but if they have no money and they can't pay you to help them budget, they're not the right client for you. And then, the older I get, the more important this one is. You have to like working with them. If you're going to build your own thing, build what you want to do. So I was talking to somebody the other day and we were talking about how widows need help with financial advising. And I'm picking on financial advising today, but I spend a lot of time talking about it. And we were talking about widows and what that journey is like. And I said, would you want to spend all day with widows? And she's like, absolutely not. No. No, it's just not my calling. Other people are fantastic with it and absolutely gifted at sitting in that space. And I have some widows that are widows, and man, they show up and they're ready. They're called to do that. This person just wasn't called to do that. So pick what you're called to do. Pick somebody that you want to work with. Don't pick somebody you don't want to work with. So think about that. All right, so radically empathetic on who we serve. The next thing we're going to talk about is a clear help statement. A clear help statement. When somebody says, what do you do? Because they're going to ask you 100 times. You're going to cut and paste it, man. Write it down, cut and paste it on social media. You're going to be asking 100 times a day. What do you do? And if you follow me, you heard the video. I did this, click, messenger. Tell me more about what you do. This is what I get back. It's like a 6-minute voicemail left on my feed, which I'm all about voicemails and Facebook Messenger. Don't get me wrong, but 6 minutes, I don't listen to anybody talk for 6 minutes. 6 minutes. It was a 6-minute voicemail. I did click play. The first thing out of her mouth was, I don't know. I don't know. I said, what do you do? And she says, I don't know. Now, normally a person would think, well, she needs your help. Heather, she needs your help. No. She went on to talk about she has an amazing coach and she sells this product, but she didn't know what she did. So get crystal clear. So I help professionals who want to turn their God-given brilliance into money-making businesses. That's what I do. I help professionals turn their God-given brilliance into money-making businesses. See how easy that is? If you can put a little humor in it, sometimes that's fun. Pretty clear what I do though, right? Not crystal clear, but pretty darn clear what I do. You know if you're a professional and you know if you want to make money and you know if you believe in God. And if you can click those boxes, then you probably want to work with me. If one of those is you know what, Heather, no, that's not it. I'm not a professional maybe, or I'm not really into making money right now. I'm just retired looking for a hobby. Then I'm not your girl, right? But if those are the things you want, you've lived a lot of life. You've done really, really well. You've lived some life and done well. Maybe you just graduated from college, but you view yourself as a professional. That's a certain mindset, right? Then you are, and you want to turn your brilliance into a coaching business and make money at it. That's what it is. So get clear, get a crystal clear help statement. If you keep going through, the impact statement is the next one. We work on that. That's a long one. Wording is important. So the impact statement says, I work with. The help statement says, I help. Those two get used at completely different times. They're both equally important and they're going to mirror each other a little bit. The impact statement is going to be much more detailed. And the thing about the impact statement is pain points. We've got to get clear on what the pain points are of our clients. Pain points. So after we know how we serve, who we serve, now it's the offer. And there's two parts to an offer. The first one is the nuts and bolts. What do you do? Is it group coaching? Is it one-on-one coaching? Does it last 6 months? Does it last 3 months? Does it last 2 months and then it's 4 months? What's the nuts and bolts of how you do it? The pillars, how, what's in there? What exactly do you do to help them have transformation? So that's part of the offer. My recommendations is over-deliver. The more confident in what you do, the more you know you're called to help, and the more you will help, the better off your offer will be and the bigger impact you will have. There is a lot of coaches out there. No one in my world, you're not in my world if this is you. You've been booted out of my world, but in my world, delivering is super important. We want our clients to have changes, to have successes. We want them to do well and change. A lot of times you'll see these coaches out there and they are really good at selling and they're terrible at delivering. Don't be that person, right? We want to have strong pillars, like I'm telling you about here, to be able to really make a difference in people's lives. And that's your offer. That's going to come through in your offer. What you do, how you help them. That's part one. So writing up what we do. The second part is the sales part of it. The offer. How do I offer it to people? What do I say? I have a script. Once we know what we do, we plug it in. Plug and play. No big deal. And we want to know their pain points. And we want to get to the point where they say, tell me how you help people. Like, tell me what you do. Like, tell me how much you charge for that. Right? Like, that's what they want to know. Tell me about your coaching program. That's where we want to be. So it's a completely different experience than us trying to push. And there's so much of that messaging, Facebook messaging, right? Every day I think I get offers sent to me. I'm like, no way. Okay, so we want to have a solid offer we're completely confident about, and we want to know how we help and serve people. I'm going to give you an example because you will remember examples. It was 2019, so a while ago, and I had never hired a coach, and I thought, I'm going to start kicking some tires. So things would come over my Facebook, and remember, 2019 was different than today. We've had a lot of years since then. So feeds would come like, click this, have a free consultation with this coach or that coach. And so one came up, and what I really wanted to learn how to do was market on social media. Like, that was new to me in 2019. It was absolutely new in the financial advisory world, because remember, I wasn't a coach at that point, and I wanted to learn how to do it. And so I wanted to hire a coach to show me how, and I thought, I'll do some free consultations and see what I can learn. And so maybe hire someone. So I got on a call with somebody, and she never asked me a pain point. She talked about herself, showed some pictures of herself, and then she went into her pitch. We're going to call it a pitch because I don't even feel like it was an offer. It was a pitch. And she was going to charge me $10,000 to learn how to dress correctly. $10,000 to learn how to dress. So she billed it as learning how to market on social media. But when in fact she was an image consultant, showing people not how to be an image consultant on social media, but how to show up dressed. Now, if I could get my foot up here, I would show you I have Reebok tennis shoes on today. Dressing is not that important to me. She was not from the Midwest. Like, Midwest is different than the coast. I get it. But I would never in my right mind ever spend $10,000, even if I had millions, for somebody to show me what to wear. That's just not me. That's not who I am. If she would have asked me some pain points and why I was there, she would have known. Instead, she got to the end of this beautiful presentation about what to wear and what she wears. And then when I asked, well, I don't know why I asked. I'm like, well, how much is it? I don't even know why I asked, right? But I did. She told me all this. I'm like, well, how much is it? I go, $10,000. And I had to pull myself off the floor and say I wouldn't. And I know, like, I was pretty blunt. I'm like, I would never spend that on that. Never. And she was so mad. And I thought, lesson learned. I can learn from this. I can do better. Get those pain points. You should not be pitching what you have, what you sell, whatever it is. I don't care if it's a product, a coaching, consulting. Do not pitch it unless you can tell me what their pain points are. You can tell them what their pain points are. You want to repeat it back to them, then you know you're ready to move on to the offer. Otherwise, it's too soon. You can't help them. You don't know what they need. So that was a good learning experience, and I've never, ever seen anything of her again. But I learned something, and this is an example. Remember, I said people fall in love with what they do and their product and not who they serve. Don't do it. Who you serve, 100% first. The rest will come. All right. This is the 4 transformational offer types: coaching, consulting, certification, and mastermind. And I only share this because sometimes when people are new into this world, they're like, Heather, I don't get it. Like, what do? You coach people. So you think of a coach as being a basketball coach. They're on the sidelines. They're telling you what to do. They're motivating you. They do not get in and make the plays, right? They are not running out on the court and making the shots. It's not them. They're on the side. They're a leader. They have come before you. They have led other teams. They have coached other teams. They probably played themselves years ago. They are a coach. They coach you through to help you be better at what you do. Consultants can go in and be more hands-on. I hire a consultant to do my compliance. She tried to teach me some of it. I'm probably capable, not able to sit there and figure it out. Like I don't have it in me. I'm like, you just do it. It's a consultant. So consultant, they may come in and give you an absolute plan too. Like they may just consult. So they're there to either hands-on, give you advice, something like that, but more of a consulting basis. So advisors, financial advisors, some are very much the consultant role. Some of them are very much the coach role. You pick it. There's some gray in there. So coaches and consultants, we talk through that when you decide what you want to do. Certifications are hot right now. I've not had one go through my coaching program. To tell you the truth, I was really close on one I was very excited about. The beauty about certifications is you can scale them and sell them. So if in the back of your mind, you're like, man, I'd like to create a business I can sell, certifications are hot right now. So if you want to do one, let's do it. And then masterminds. And the power of a mastermind is the group and not the coach or the consultant. It's the group. It's who you meet in the group, masterminds. So those are the 4 transformational types of people that I help, businesses I help. The other one that's out there obviously is like a brick and mortar or product. I've helped some brick and mortars definitely over the years. It's just different. And so we need to make sure that fits into the program. It has to be super transformational. So, sometimes, but coaching, consulting, certifications, and masterminds are really my jam. So, all right. So hopefully that was helpful. The next thing on the handout is the pillars. And we talked about, my pillars. We talked about the fact that you need pillars. Like 4. Is it always 4? I always say, it can be, 5, 6, it could be 3, but no, it's always 4. It seems like everybody always lands on 4. That's about what it takes to be transformational. So maybe you'll have a one-off, no big deal, but about 4 ways that you help people. And that we want to start with that. Once you know your ideal client, we write up those pillars. This is a question that comes up. Content, Heather. When do I write my content? How much content do I have? I have people come into my world that have spent a year, 2 years, thousands of dollars and time putting courses together. And it might be a course online, like virtual course. And they're like, I'm not making any money at this. Or they're like, I get to the end of it, I don't even publicize it. I don't know, I don't like it. Like there's something holding them back. It's like, well, you don't know if it's going to help. So we do not, in my world, go build a bunch of courses. My thing is we need to get you to market to help the people as fast as you can. Whoever you're called to help, you need to go do it. Like, let's not hold back. No way. We got to go. We have a calling and we're going to go. And so I want you to think about that. And if we spend all this time putting something together, we don't know if that helps people. When I did my beta group back in October, if I would have wrote a whole course, spent all this time, put it all on social media, made it access to, did all this, wrote this whole big curriculum and course on business planning, writing a business plan, no, it would have been a waste because that's not what they needed. And even though I knew the market so well and I had coached for 4 or 5 years before that, I needed to be able to have the experience to find out what the people wanted that were exactly drawn to me. And so we don't go build a bunch of stuff. We get our pillars and the rest will come to you. And you have to remember, this is stuff you know really, really well. It's not going to be something strange. And you don't need to go get another certification, and it doesn't matter. This is the question yesterday. You don't need a degree. It doesn't matter. Right? None of that matters. You need to show up, be ready for call for impact, be able to help and serve people, and get started with your pillars. We're going to build it as we go. And every time I help someone, it changes a little bit. I'm doing new handouts today to make the marketing process easier. It's going to be a check sheet. And so always building, always getting better, and everything's stored in a vault where people can go access it, even the beta stuff that I did. But it's always getting better. I never stopped and took months off to write something. Just don't do it. Just get started. You'll figure it out when you go. All right. So that's the 3, right? So vision, ideal client, offer. Confused mind never buys. Confused mind never buys. That offer ought to be just absolutely clean. I was at a training the other day. This lady had the cutest marketing, and she was an older lady, and it was funny. And I'm like, man, I'm going to show up and listen to her. Maybe I'll learn something. So I jumped on one of her free things, and it was okay. And then we get to the end. I wasn't sure what to do next. Like, 3 or 4 things. Do this, then this, and then I'll see you tomorrow. And I'm like, nope, too much. Offer one thing. We start with one clear thing. Another question that comes in, and then we're going to dive into the marketing. High ticket, low ticket. And can I do both? And so a low ticket would be a $40 course. Could be a $300 course. High ticket would be $5,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 coaching program. You got to pick one. I tried to do both, and I couldn't get it done. So you got to pick one. High ticket is more transformational. High ticket is more transformational. You get to work directly with them and help them to get better at what they're doing. How many courses have you bought and never looked at? Guilty. I have. $27. Sure, no problem. Never saw it again. Didn't even get it. Like, it never even arrived, like the link, and I never even bothered following up on it. Like, that kind of stuff is not very transformational. And I had it was in school. People could join $40 a month. I would be in there once a month, and then all the course work that I've recorded was in there, like I recorded along the way. People joined and paid the $40 a month. I never knew them. And I would message them and be like, hey, you want to get together for your free coaching? Never heard back from them. They just kept paying me $40. I felt bad. And the thing is, like, they didn't get transformation. I'm not sure anybody that was paying $40 a month got transformation for that. And I don't want people out there going around saying that I didn't help them. Because they're not going to know. They're not going to say, oh, I was only paying $40 a month. No, they're going to say, I took Heather's coaching program. It's not helpful. I don't want people saying that. You can't get that much help at $40 a month. So high ticket's what we do. That's the difference. So doing both at the same time is just going to bog you down. And I learned, right? Because this wasn't that long ago. Like, this is November. So I went out to my beautiful community, the Business Squad, who you guys are all part of. And I said, yeah, tell me why you think people aren't joining my low ticket. It's only $40 a month. I thought people would just jump in there. They go, what low ticket? Like, they weren't seeing it because I was spending my time promoting my high ticket, which I should be because people were getting transformation from that. So they were hearing about the high ticket. The low ticket got lost in the shuffle. I couldn't, it's just too much. So think about that. All right. High ticket versus low ticket. It's always a question. We are going to jump into marketing. And boy, like, this could be a whole quarter full of school classes, right? Like, there's so much to cover here. So I'm going to give you some high level stuff, and then we're going to call it good. What marketing is the best? What you will do. The marketing that is the best is what you will do. So I always tell people, we sit down with a list of things when you're in my coaching group. We just did this last week. Handed out a list. I said, if there's anything on here that makes your skin crawl, your hair grow up on the back of your neck, you want to go be sick, cross it off. Cross it off. Don't feel like you have to go do live videos just because I do. Don't feel like you have to go build a huge email list because somebody told you that. You need to figure out what's good for you and go do it. I had somebody lose weeks of their life, and I'm not exaggerating, weeks of their life because they were trying to get on a system and do a training video about a pillar. Now, 3-minute prep for me, I think nothing of it, right? I've done it so much, it doesn't bother me. So they saw that and they're like, I'm going to go do that. The thing is, they have never spoke. It made them very nervous. They didn't like it. And it wasted time. When they could have been doing something that was going to move the needle forward, they were not. They were trying to overcome a hurdle that they did not need to overcome. You know, I think of the old school system. It's still the school system. You go, you get a grade. You got to learn everything. There's some things you don't need to learn. You know what? They used to, like, I'm a terrible speller. And they used to be like, oh God, you're not going to amount to anything. You can't spell. Nobody can spell anymore. Like, the computer can spell, right? Like, it does not matter. But we think we have to learn everything and all of it, and you absolutely don't. So don't look at someone else and think you have to do what they do. Do what you want to do, what is good for you to do. Do that. Don't waste your time trying to make yourself do something you'll never be able to do that you're not made to do. Find something else. There's so many different choices on marketing. So what's the best marketing method? What you'll do. The other flip side of that, so if you have this list of things that we do, and it's do 1, 2, 3, 4, like you do them in order, and then if you want to ditch some of them, you can ditch some of them. And so I said, now, you can go cross some stuff off. You cannot cross them all off. So you can cross 1 or 2 off, but you cannot cross them all off. So you're going to need to somewhat get out of your comfort zone. You're going to need to do some things different. Don't think you're going to be able to just sit back and not have a little growing pains. You're going to have some growing pains. Just pick what you're willing to do. What are you willing to do? Which brings me to our program. So the commitment I ask for from my coaches when they're in the program is 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day of money-making activity. 1 hour a day on social media. And if you cannot do 1 hour a day of getting on social media and connecting with your ideal client, that's what we need to work on. And sometimes it's just a scheduling issue. You just got to fit it in your schedule. Some people are just absolutely super, super, super busy. Once in a rare time, it's a scheduling issue. And it's like, okay, what time's the family get up? Then you're doing it the hour before then. When are you going to do it? Maybe it's your lunch hour. Maybe it's at night, but 1 hour a day. Now, once in a while, it's the scheduling. Usually it's something up here, right? Who can't find 1 hour a day to grow a business you're called to grow? Up here. So what is that block that's getting in your way? And let's deal with it and fix it. Because 1 hour a day to build a business, it's going to have an impact that you're called for, should be like a walk in the park. Okay. So 1 hour a day, that's what we spend on this. All right. Market method you'll do 1 hour a day. We're serving, not selling. You guys have been with me long enough, you know that. What's your client's biggest issue? I always say get grounded in that. What's your client's biggest issue and go fix that. Go help them with that. Now, as far as the nuts and bolts, what do? I'm going to share 3 of them with you, and then we'll call it a day. If you're like, yeah, I do those, or I don't know how to do those, the issue is probably in the first 3 things. Like if you're like, I'm already doing that and I'm not getting any clients, you've got an issue with who you serve, how you serve, or your offer. If you're not having clients and you're showing up 1 hour a day and doing money-making activity and doing these marketing things I'm about to tell you about, like then you have an issue with the first 3 things. Because the marketing will work as long as your first 3 pillars are strong. All right, direct messaging. I get about 2 out of 10 on this. So text messaging is the best. Facebook works. I write a very specific, short, non-salesy, very much service message and send it to 10 people. And if you, if you're rolling and you're like, I just need kind of to level out my flow of clients, 10 every Monday. If you come in and you're like, Heather, I need revenue by next week, 10 every day. And so the thing is, should I do 50? Well, can you do 50 and really think about who you're sending it to and make sure that it matches them? Or are they going to feel like you just kind of absolutely 100% cut and pasted, right? Like we don't want to be that. We want to be authentic in it. And so 10 at a time, messages to them. A lot of it's cut and pasted, but you want to make it a little individualized and make sure we don't want it so watered down we can send it out to everybody and their dog, right? So a little bit specific. Example, because that helps. So financial advisors. Hey, this is Heather, Bob, whoever you are. I've been working with a lot of plumbers, if I'm sending it to a plumber, in your area with tax advantage strategies. Not sure if you work with somebody already, but if you'd like to chat about strategies, let me know. That's it. Take out their phone, strategies, sure, right? Could be, hey, Bob, this is Heather from the chamber, because maybe they don't know me. Now they know I'm local. Right? I've been working with a lot of plumbers in your area, and they're a plumber, on tax advantage strategies. Didn't know if you already work with somebody, but if you're interested in kicking some ideas around, see how that is like conversational? Like, I'm not going to call like someone else and say, kick some ideas around. That's specific, right, to people in that area. And I could say that to farmers too that I work with. So specific language, very short. So, and then you can do electricians, whoever. So that's just a really good example. We got to get very specific. And there's a little bit of cut and pasting, but if it's not working, you're trying to mass message like everybody else is doing. We need to make it specific. So direct messaging, 2 out of 10. That's what we're shooting for. 2 appointments out of 10 messages. That's good. Nesting in Facebook groups. I'm going to compare this to going to a dance. So think back to the last dance you went to. If you would have went to the dance and stood in the corner, you wouldn't have had much fun and you would have never met anybody. Some people might have come and said hello to you. They could have been people you didn't even want to know. You might have had a little conversation, but they definitely weren't who you really wanted to meet because they're out there having fun and you're just sitting there. Social media is like a dance. You need to jump in. You need to go meet people and have fun. Put out what you want to bring in. Good vibes, energy, fun, right? And so that's nesting. We nest in Facebook groups. So you need to think about the group. You need to think about who they help and like who's in there, what they're doing, and you go out and you connect with people. And there's a method to the madness. But nesting in Facebook groups, something I have been doing, oh man, forever. And it works really well for me. So nesting in Facebook groups. I say get 5, you're going to end up with 3. You're going to be in them every day during your 1-hour money-making activity. It's fun, right? And then the last one's lead posts. And lead posts is how I got those 86 clients from one post. At my office, the process is I send it to my VA Monday morning, literally before I get out of bed, I text her, this is the lead post for the week. I don't know why that's when it hits me. It does. I don't spend time thinking about it. They just come. And I send it to her and she posts it. And she posts it, I think, in 4 spots. And then she goes back and now you know my secrets. If you got a response on a lead post, it was from her and not me. But she sounds just like me. I can't tell if it's me or her half the time. And so out there on lead posts, finding people. So what a lead post does is it is seeking out, it's putting out a conversation that your ideal client would want to be involved in. It's very authentic. It's not this junk going on out there right now, this bait and switch. That's what I hate, the bait and switch. Oh my gosh, we got into a discussion about bait and switch in one of the groups the other day, and it was a good discussion. These people that come on and say, I'm interested in hiring a life coach, when really they're not interested in hiring a life coach. They're interested in finding life coaches to coach. That's what they're sell them a digital marketing system or their VA services. They want to sell them something. So don't do that. Like, that's not cool. Remember we talked in the beginning of this workshop, put good seeds out there. That's not a good seed. That's a slimy seed. You're not going to reap good things from non-authentic bait and switch crap. So authentic stuff. So the one that originally started this coaching thing for me was, and most of you guys, some of you have heard this already, so you know this. The exact post was, there are 2,980 government grants for small businesses right now. Curious? That was it. I wrote one yesterday for somebody else, and it was 90, I think it was 97%. Don't quote me on the percentage. It don't matter. 97% of corn seeds in the ground. How's your area look? Who do you think we're looking for? Farmers. We're looking for farmers, crop farmers. So with the one on the grants, I was looking for people looking to grow their businesses, right? That's what I was looking for. From that, I had 25 applications for my beta program, that first post, and I took 10. So did it work? Absolutely worked. It was an absolute success. So you got to think about who you want to serve. There's usually a statistic, but not always. And you get it out there and you start having conversations with the people. And then you befriend them, and then you invite them somewhere where you can drip on them. So the problem with social media is you got to think about it. One is you're meeting somebody at the grocery store. Like, don't be weird, I say. Have a normal conversation. And number 2, don't rush it. Don't rush it. You got to take it slow. I said, don't rush the bases, right? We're going to take it slow. So those are the main 3 things: messaging, nesting, and then lead posts. Lead posts are huge. So, yeah, that's the end of it. Holy cats. Awesome. Very different. I can't see questions, which is a total hopefully. All right. Put impact in the comments. Let me know you were here. Let me know this was helpful. Give me a thumbs up if you thought this was helpful. That's fantastic. Any questions you have, feel free to put them in the chat. I will return your answers today. A lot of times, I get back on and I do another quick post answering them so everybody can have the answers, or I can put them there, or I'll DM you. If there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. I will put a link in the comments. You can sign up for a free consultation. That's probably going to be the most useful way to go forward, because you haven't been able to ask your questions, which is kind of a bummer. So jump on the phone with me, sign up for a consultation. Let's get together. We'll talk through your pillars. I can answer anything that didn't get answered today, and we'll get you going in the right direction. So you are called for impact. I'm super excited you are here, and have an amazing day.